being circulated. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, it is my distinct pleasure to say those two words, Madam Speaker. And to congratulate you and the Deputy Speaker, MP Holness, in leading the Parliament. This afternoon, I will provide an update to this Honourable House on the plans and programs that have been put in place by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information for the official start of the new school year on October 5, 2020. As we are all aware, Madam Speaker, Jamaica has been severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The education sector in particular has been hard hit. Face-to-face schooling has been disrupted. Schools have been closed for an extended period, and there is an urgent need for solutions that will allow our children to continue receiving quality formal education amidst the continuing pandemic. Since assuming office on September 14th, I've had a series of meetings with a wide cross-section of stakeholders representing students, parents, teachers, principals, administrators, the book publishing and retail industry, and internet service providers, among others. Arising out of those meetings and in consultations with the officers at the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, we have endeavored to arrive at a place to allow for the official start of the new school year come next Monday. The most recent advisories from the Ministry of Health and Wellness regarding the community spread phase of the pandemic do not support face-to-face teaching and learning. Additionally, major stakeholders such as the JTA, Principals Association, and the National Parent Teachers Association have raised objections to face-to-face teaching and learning at this time. As such, we will commence classes with students remaining at home and utilizing any or all of the three approaches that I will outline to receive their lessons. The first approach is online, in which students remain at home and access lessons via the Google Suite Learning Management System. In this approach, teachers and students will be in a virtual classroom environment. The teachers will be able to teach online, and the lessons will be recorded for students to access at their own convenience as many times as they would like in order to improve the mastery of subject matter. To access lessons online, the students will need to have a device, which is a laptop, a tablet, or smartphone, and internet connectivity. The students and teachers will not need to have a data plan to access the Google Suite Learning Management System, or G Suite for education. Students and teachers are being provided with email addresses which they will use to sign on to the online classroom. Of course, for the security, they will create their personal passwords. To date, 15,466 teachers and 190,352 students have already signed on and are using the system. This figure represents 32% of students across early childhood, primary, secondary, and tertiary public and private institutions. We continue to work with the Early Childhood Commission to onboard the early childhood practitioners. We're also training our special needs teachers and teachers in the private schools. Approximately 20,000 teachers have been trained on the learning management system to create their virtual classrooms so that they can seamlessly conduct classes and have an overall dexterity with the system so that in the event students need some assistance navigating, the teachers have the competence to respond. Additionally, we've trained system administrators to support the students in navigating the virtual space. The learning management system is a cloud-based system and is a platform managed by Google as part of their education product offering. The platform is cloud-based that I mentioned before, but that means it is not dependent on the Ministry of Education having thousands of servers to manage. And so all students utilizing this platform should not experience any capacity issues. You may have other issues, but not a capacity issue. In the second approach, the ministry will be providing lessons through audiovisual means using TV, cable, and radio. TVJ will be providing a dedicated channel for 24 hours, while Ready TV, in collaboration with CVM, will also be providing a 24-hour dedicated station, along with lessons to be aired on PBCJ and cable channels. Several radio stations will also participate. The ministry will publish a schedule on our website, on all the social media platforms, in the newspapers, email to the principals of schools, teachers, and to the students so that they will know precisely at what time their classes will be on. The third approach is for the ministry to provide printed material for students to utilize along with their textbooks and worksheets at home. The textbooks and workbooks will be available through the schools for pickup during the first week of the remote learning. Every student will have the government-issued textbook and worksheets where applicable, every student in the public system. For those students who live in deep rural parts of Jamaica and have to depend on the printed materials only, there will be special worksheets and practice books that will be printed and distributed to these students through their schools. Additionally, the students will get printed lessons for 2 weeks in advance. The completed worksheets will be picked up at established points so the teachers can mark the completed work and be in touch with the students via telephone, WhatsApp groups for the classes, or text messages. Madam Speaker, I am making an appeal for community support for our children, especially in the inner cities and rural parts of Jamaica where parents have to go to work. I'm also making a national appeal as well for NGOs and faith-based organizations to work with families to ensure the safety and protection of our children. In the home, this is where the aunts, uncles, grandparents, and older siblings can come together and schedule their time so that there's always some supervision in the home for our children. We are all going through this pandemic together. Madam Speaker, I am happy to report that consequent to the ministry's partnership with Google commencing September 14, 2020, all educational institutions will be provided with a G Suite for Education account through the moeschools.edu.jm domain. This means that all teachers and students will have an email account provided by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information to access the system. This will facilitate the implementation of the National Learning Management System at no cost to all institutions. The moeschools.edu.jm account will provide schools with access to the full Suite for Education applications, G Suite for Education, is a learning management application that includes the Google Classroom, which can be deployed school-wide as a single space to host all online classes while at school or from a remote location. Included in Google Classroom is Google Meet, which supports live interactive teaching and learning activities. The National Learning Management System will also provide school leaders, teachers, and students with access to a collection of applications to perform the following tasks and more: to manage email accounts, create presentations, schedule and track events, centrally store files, create spreadsheet documents, create and share quizzes, perform word processing, utilize the electronic whiteboard, the Jamboard, record students' grades, provide access to central monitoring for education officers to better support schools. Madam Speaker, in an effort to support the efficient implementation and utilization of the National Learning Management System, the Ministry has made ongoing Google Classroom training available to all teachers through the Jamaica Teaching Council and through partnerships with local and overseas universities. Principals, vice principals, and other middle managers have been accessing leadership training through the National College for Educational Leadership, NCEL. School-based system administrators have also been receiving training provided by the Enterprise School Management System Unit. This started on August 27, 2020, and has continued throughout the month of September. Madam Speaker, we are reminding school administrators to register their institution for this service by completing and submitting the National LMS registration form. Schools with their own G Suite for Education account are being asked to also complete the registration form and indicate the name of their G Suite domain. Schools that have started to use the G Suite or other learning management system should switch over or work with our technical team to integrate their domain with the moeschools.edu.jm domain so that they can benefit from the fully funded benefits afforded under the Ministry's partnership with Google. Schools that are currently using other solutions, such as the school management system offered by RenWeb, Smart Term, and other service providers, can continue to do so while the Ministry provides the technical support and required resources to enable these partnerships. Madam Speaker, the Ministry has entered into partnership with Flow Jamaica, Digicel Jamaica, and Ready TV to facilitate internet access and broadband services to enable the teaching and learning in all schools utilizing the G Suite Learning Management System domain being provided. This means that all principals, teachers, students, and parents can now be engaged in virtual online teaching and learning activities without the need to utilize their personal internet data. The Ministry is also completing the negotiation for schools to have the bandwidth required to host lessons from schools, meaning the teacher would come to the school. An allocation to augment data support for teachers and students is also being considered. All the technical processes are being implemented, including training of key stakeholders, and already over 952 schools have activated their account. Flow and Digicel have advised that they will also continue to offer their reduced education data plans. Once an individual subscribes to an education data plan, in addition to voice minutes and data, they will have zero-rated access to 17 frequently used learning platforms and websites via the Flow network and 128 frequently used learning platforms and websites using the Digicel network. Ready TV will continue the installation of their system in the 100 communities of schools approved by the Ministry. The Ministry is also exploring other initiatives to support the other 138 schools that cannot access. Other approved apps, such as Calculation Time and free apps that have been evaluated and found to be suitable for the different levels of the system. These have been pulled together and are accessible under the MOEYI e-resources app both on and offline. Madam Speaker, I'm also very happy to report that all users of electronic devices, whether those be tablets or computers supplied by the ministry or procured by guardians, have access to the ministry's e-resources app. This is a single platform for all resources that provide both online and offline access to e-books, content, worksheets, quizzes, etc., and they're all aligned to the national standards curriculum and the primary exit profile, as well as other interactive learning solutions targeted at the early childhood to the secondary levels. Students who have their own devices and those who will receive devices procured at the school level will also gain access to the e-resources app. The ministry's e-resources app is now in the Google Play Store for ease of access to all. Students who receive tablets and laptops can now download. Please note that once you've downloaded, the app will be available offline. Madam Speaker, the Education Ministry's programs are not restricted to public schools. In fact, we are extending our outreach to independent and private schools. What this means, Madam Speaker, is that all basic schools will be provided with access at no cost to the G Suite and relevant content through the Early Childhood Commission once the institution is registered. All independent or private schools will also be provided with access to the G Suite and content once they are registered with the Independent Schools Unit located at the Central Ministry. These schools also will be provided with a selected number of tablets or laptops for needy students as identified and based on available funds. Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is fully committed to providing the resources and helping the education system to transition to the one that can effectively navigate the new normal. This requires us to pivot the odds in our favor and to capitalize on the seeds of opportunity through consultations and strategic collaboration. Madam Speaker, I now turn to the issue of tablets and laptops. Madam Speaker, to augment the 18,000 tablets and over 12,000 desktop computers already in the school system, the Ministry will procure and distribute additional tablets and laptops, commencing with the distribution of 40,000 tablets for part students effective October 2, 2020. These will be distributed by e-learning and will be targeted at part students in grades 4 to 6 and grades 10 to 13. Additionally, the public high schools have been provided with the funding to procure laptops for students at grades 10 to 13 who are also on path, and for other vulnerable students as identified. Please note that e-learning will be working with the high schools to support the procurement of the laptops. And so I want to say to the schools, you are not on your own. You have e-learning as your partner. In addition, e-learning has completed the distribution of tablets to teachers under the Tablets for Teachers, Jamaica Teachers Association Heads of Agreement. Those teachers who have not yet received tablets based on the time they were employed will be dealt with as of the month of October. Madam Speaker, the Ministry has heard the cries of families in need with regards to tablets and laptops. Every student wants to be online, and we recognize that need. So far, in looking at the tablets that we've been providing and the laptops, we have been emphasizing PATH students, and that is where the emphasis should rightly be. But in addition, for non-PATH needy families, the ministry will make available a subsidy or a voucher of $20,000 to families of 36,000 students towards the purchase of a tablet or laptop. There will be a registration process and criteria for the selection of the 36,000 students. We will announce the start date for the registration process. We have a minimum specification for the tablets and laptops so that parents can be guided and do not end up purchasing inferior tablets and laptops with the $20,000 voucher. For tablets, the minimum specification is 1 gigabyte of memory, 32 gigabytes of storage, and at least an 8-inch screen. For laptops, the minimum specification is 4 gigabytes of memory and 500 gigabytes of storage. The laptop should also come with Intel i3 or dual-core processors. E-Learning has negotiated wholesale prices with selected vendors of the Jamaican equivalent of US $150 for tablets and US $460 for laptops, inclusive of GCT. There's also a 12-month warranty in place. And I'm spelling this out for the benefit of parents so that they have the requisite knowledge. Additionally, Madam Speaker, the ministry is in talks with the PSOJ to launch a one laptop or tablet per child initiative. We're calling on corporate Jamaica, NGOs, faith-based institutions, international development partners, private individuals, and the diaspora to help us equip our students to be able to access online education. The Ministry of Education is fully committed to providing the resources and helping the education system to transition to one that can effectively navigate the new normal. This requires us to pivot the odds in our favor and capitalize on the seeds of opportunity through consultations and strategic collaboration. Madam Speaker, it is often said, there's an opportunity in every crisis. The current public health crisis has presented the education system with an opportunity to retool for the technological age and to help our children cope with contemporary challenges. We cannot fail our children. Thank you.